part of our summer culture is that we believe that we hear from God.
There's a step in which I learn that God talks to me. There's a whole nother step that says that God talks to you, and that I have the ability to accept that. And then, of course, John has the ability to speak it and share it.
Welcome back to Tempus Divum. This week, I'm excited about this one because this was one of those sermons that was so timely for me to hear something that really helped. We're in the middle of a world pandemic. If you're watching this years later, this is history, but right now we're in the middle of it. And Chris Valentin came, and in fact, Bethel Church, I just have to give you guys huge kudos. You have led so well during this time.
I would agree.
I really appreciate it during the racial tension and all of the justice, movement going on. The way you've spoken to that and honored people, as well as like helping people through the pandemic, it's been beautiful. So thank you, Chris Valentin, and the Johnsons, and then the whole Bethel team, the music, the sermons, everybody.
It really shows a degree of not just learning, but wisdom.
Yes,
and that's
it
a beautiful
does.
thing and a rare thing.
And correcting, I love it's like they're correcting in a nice way, but a good way. Like they're not holding anything back, and I really like that. Eric Johnson, Bill Johnson, I think Eric Johnson's wife, Candace Johnson. They've all just done a good job. In this one, Chris approaches this, and he's talked about this a lot. In fact, we'll put some other resources down in the links below. Spirit Wars is a book he wrote that talks about spiritual warfare. And we've talked about spiritual warfare before, podcast, Tempus Divum. But this one, he approaches this thing of these current problems we're in. A real bad pandemic. We've got economic problems. We've got racial tension. We've got all sorts of things. And you're sitting there, we could come out all these solutions in our heads and get together with, politicians, make new laws, all this stuff. But Chris is like, wait a second. He says, doesn't God have better solutions?
Yeah. I saw this quote from Einstein the other day, and I'm going to hash it, but it's something like, a problem can't be solved by the same level of thinking that created it.
Yeah.
And so the same order of intelligence. And so the notion that we have all kinds of like very real earthly problems, and it's everything from finances to politics to diseases, like those are real problems. And we're smart people, we can probably figure out some good stuff. But as Christians, if we believe that we have access to a whole nother like level of wisdom and foresight and vision, we should be tapping in there. Like it would be foolish not to.
Now, he mentions third heaven. Does the Bible talk about a second heaven?
I think he says no. Like scripturally, the second heaven is inferred because we do see the first heaven and we see the third heaven. So it sort of suggests that there's a second heaven. And I'll let him describe what those mean. But I think he makes a fair point. Like
he does. Great stories, blow your mind. It's really good. It'll probably challenge you. So enjoy that, and we'll talk to you on the other side, right?
Right on.
Yeah.